Saludos, hermano. ¿Cómo están?
Good, good. Welcome to the Museum of Graffiti's Daily Artist Talk. So before we start, Entes, I want to just let people know a little bit about you.
Thank you very much for the invitation first.
You're very welcome. Joan Jimenez, better known as ENTES in the world of visual arts, is a multidisciplinary creator who stands out for his versatility in painting and in a variety of surfaces. The walls, shipping containers, and building facades he paints are not just in Lima, his place of origin, but at different locations worldwide, including countries as Angola, United States, Mexico, France, Germany, Holland, and Colombia. Just to name a few, he is considered to be one of the graffiti pioneers in Lima and currently addresses local issues in his pictorial work. He is one of the Latino Americano Festival organizers and also boasts a hefty curriculum of individual and group exhibition that attests to an extensive trajectory while working within various contexts. And I will add to that as well, that you are also an institution builder, that you started El Museo de Arte Urbano in Lima, Peru. So from museum to museum, I want to congratulate you because we're both new. And I want to explore this with you as an artist, why you've chosen to create an institution for art, or specifically urban art in Lima, Peru.
Yeah, bro. The reason cause I need a museum here is cause we got many artists, good artists in Latin America, and for any reason I don't know why, but Europe and USA don't focus in us. You know, we don't got the opportunity to fly to visit Europe and say, yo, this is my art, I got a gallery, or I got a new concept, contemporary art, you know. It's impossible for us. And if I got an opportunity to do that to my friends, is in, you know. So this is the reason because I need a museum of urban art in Peru, you know.
And so what kind of support did you get to create this? What kind of challenges did you see ahead of yourself while creating this? And how are you maintaining it in the age of Corona?
Yeah, the partner on the crime is Fugaz. Fugaz is a really crazy place in Callao, outside of Lima. Is a provincia constitucional from Callao. So right there is a big scene of graffiti. We do many festivals in the past, but now the project is do a museum. So we invited many artists from Colombia, from Paraguay, Chile, Ecuador, Dominican Republic, Italy, USA, actually, and Argentina too. Many artists. So we got 25 artists in the lineup now. And the thing with the museum is we got the first museum with the real walls, because with my technique, I can take off the wall, right? So this is the opportunity to do that with my technique and with another friends with me, right?
Yeah, and in terms of creating this space, right? In terms of the formal art institutions there, you know, the formal museums of contemporary art in Lima, Peru, have they been supportive, or are they writing you off? Are they saying, oh, this is not going to last? What's your impression? Is there a support system with what already exists?
Here is a elite, like another place in Latin America. You know, art is a elite, and graffiti is no part of this. So this is a reason because I create the Museum of Graffiti in Peru, you know, so or urban art, you know, but here the community is more powerful, focusing the graffiti of urban art or new muralism, is completely in this, the community. But the people, the artists, the high top curators, and these people in the first time say no, not happen nothing with that, but later come and visit. I talking with these people because I know these people, so it's a good opportunity to do something big, and now we got it finally, right?
This is fantastic. And so one of the things that's important about this, right? Because you're giving artists space, you're giving them agency at a time where, Peru is going through a lot of changes. And in the last several years, we're seeing them unfold and here in the States, and we're seeing the news clippings of revolution and protest. And that's something that's not new to Latin America. And what's really always been powerful about that is how artists respond to these political crises. And Lima has been no different, right? It's been in the history, right? And we chose this image, which is a very powerful image by Edwin Sulca. And can we talk about this before we go on? What?
Yes, the thing here particular, because in Latin America now is the revolution explosion, but we got this for 70 to 2000, because terrorism, this piece in particular, talking about the terrorism, come to my house, steal old and rape girls, kill people. This is the techniques from terrorism, do that. So this happened in 70 to 90s, and in the end of the 90s, we resolved this problem. But now we got many corruption problems, and all is on the way. We fighting now. The government fighting with the Fujimori family, with the Alan Garcia family too, with the corruption, the big corruption stay in Latin America many, many years ago. So now it's changed in Peru. It's like I see all the world, and now I feeling really happy because my government fight with me in the problem,
Yeah, so in terms of the response, I mean, we one of the things that we're seeing is that you and your friends have picked up the spray can. Instead of picking up weapons, you're picking up the spray cans, right? And we're seeing the power, of that.
Yes, we do this solo. What's it called? We do a show with Jade, Pésimo, Desertor, and me. So these four big artists from Peru do this amazing work talking about the problems here, actually, right? So these artists for real got a very good job, and we're talking about different part of the system affects us, like the system affect different race, for different ways, and this is the solution. Also, this is a piece for Desertor, and this is a good artist from Latin America, from the world actually, and he tried to talking about the source, the people from the Andes, but in
Right.
Lima.
Right. And it's so important, right? Because it's about finding identity in the work. And that's something that you've been very focused on, right? About creating a unique identity, a Latino American identity in both the graffiti and the muralism. And tell me why that focus? Why not just stick to the lettering?
Yes, I'm started with lettering in '98 actually, and try to put my ass in there in like hip hop part of the situation. But in one point, I switch my head and say, "Yo, I'm from Latin America. We got completely different problems, and we need solutions." And the art try to talking about this, you know, we look different, you know, and in the street in Lima is completely different. So I need put this in the walls, because when you do zapping in the television or you look the publicity in the streets, it's only white people. And this is the reason, because I put different kind of colors of people in the street, try to do something about this problem, you know, racism.
Right. And so do you find, as you travel the world as an artist, being an artist from Latin America, do you find that racism similar in other countries? Or are you more accepted in other countries?
It's completely different, because the people look me, and when I go to the airport, for sure the people stop me, the police stop me. I don't know why, but I look a trafficant, or I don't know, a drug dealer, something like that, right? But the people is really accepting when look the art, because the art is so powerful. And this is the point, the powerful of my art or friend arts from Latin America looks completely powerful. So in this point, the brain changed the situation, right? The racism stop and say, yo, you talking another language, you know, and this language is my art, actually.
Right. The art gives you a different kind of passport in the world, doesn't it? And one of the things we touched on in terms of Latin American art, you know, we talked about the influence of Os Gemios and the other artists from Latin America that were helping shape and inspire what Latin American street art was to come. Let's talk a little bit about that and how that influenced you early on.
Yes, my first influence for sure is Twist. Twist from San Francisco is, this guy is, for me, is the same of Jay Dilla in hip hop. Changed all the game. He changed all the game. And in this process, with Beautiful Losers and more stuff like that, Os Gemios come. Os Gemios broke my mind, for sure, you know. And I got the pleasure to know these guys and stay with you in the museum last December. So we got this kind of opportunity to know this kind of people. Actually, people from Chile, when I traveled to Chile in 2002 for first time in my life, I'm out of my country, to Chile and look the work from Sekis, Ring, and DVE, Sile, Fisek.
But what countries? Explain to me what countries these guys are coming from, so people understand.
Chile.
All from Chile.
Santiago de Chile. Yes, these guys from Chile inspire me too much, and is my friends for like a real brothers now. So these persons changed my life, because showed me what happened with the graffiti is not only hip hop life, you know, and we can do another kind of things, because we live in Latin America. And particular, when you come from Peru, it's like got many paths in your bag, right? Like Incas, pre-Incas, stuff, alien stuff, you know, jungle stuff, Andes stuff, coast stuff. It's too much. It's too much. And it's so powerful. It's so powerful. And in this point, I decided take this all influence and create my own stuff, and use particular colors, because I try to do myself like a piece inside of the character, you know. So this the for staying the connection with the past, you know, with the real graffiti from the street, from the trains, from New York, you know. This is the point, my connection with that and the hip hop, because I listen hip hop every time of my life.
Right. but it's interesting, as you said, the strong ties to Latin American culture and the things that come into it. And especially when you see these big buildings and, the tropical explosion of color, of strong identity, strong facial identities as well. And it's really quite beautiful that you have focused on that. But in particularly, you've moved away from kind of this traditional portraiture to a very unique style of portraiture in your painting, as you can see in this painting right here on these containers.
Yes, actually, the last photo is a collaboration with Saile from Chile, and this one is a collaboration with my ex-partner Pessimo, and this is in France. No, this is in Austria, and the last one is in Paraguay for Latinoamericano Festival in Paraguay. Do it for my brother Osmontania. So when I started painting the big buildings, we need to do something really strong, colorful and powerful, and say something about that. Because in this point, in this moment, the people don't doing nothing, and the art industry try to come to design, not to the art, really art. Like say something and powerful. I don't care about the likes. I don't care about the stuff like that. I care about the situation and powerful image I can do in the world.
Right, and let's talk about this. The train stations. This was a great story about how things have turned around for you with the focus on the portraiture and art for the people, because this series is about people, and it's on the Lima train system. It's
yes.
part of. Tell me about how that happened for you.
It's really crazy, but I found a way for the train pay me for do murals for these people. It's crazy because the train, I don't think so the train do many stuff like that, but I see that in Copenhagen when I traveled in 2013, and I see the way I can do that in my country and propose to the train line to do that, because it's cool when you see all the way in the car and you see all these columns gray, 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 gray. It's really boring, and now we change that. And also in this image we got another artist too, but I got a company and I call another young artist to do that with me. I paid this artist and try to create another system to survivor and support other artists, young artists on the way.
So now, of course, the Lima train system has no idea that you were, well, let's not even tell them. You definitely put in work. I just want to emphasize the people that you definitely did put in graffiti style, lettering style work in your country and throughout the world. Because this interview, we're focusing on the other work, right? And that's important, right? Because it shows how much we grow from one concept, one idea of our name into some kind of artistic practice. And so, what I like is that you didn't necessarily just abandon lettering, but you definitely focused on identity and more importantly, a painting style for yourself, something that expressed, your indigenous roots.
Yes, I try to mix it, try to do the contemporary person of my country in the street, but I look the soul when I work in the street. I see a person, I see, oh, this guy is so equal to an indigenous photo for 1920, I see that, and I try to paint it, I try to put my style on this kind of image, and
Yeah,
try to put the soul in the image.
And how important is that to you? I mean, in terms of as a contemporary artist, you focused a good part of your career on indigenous uh, imagery, social imagery that's related to, you know, the community around you. How important is that? Whereas you also balance out something like this that relates back to your story in hip hop. So you know you've got this beautiful arc, you know, of history and also a modern history.
Yes, the point with the difference of the hip hop and indigenism, the hip hop showed me what is the way to do that in the world. You know, hip hop is changed my life a lot. You know, hip hop showed me the music, the dance, the DJs, the graffiti. Actually, the graffiti put my hair in other way. You know, because I'm so connected with that. Also, I can paint a indigena, listen hip hop, and it's a combination. For me, it's like we all the world we are indigenous, you know, but new indigenous. So this is the point. Also, the new indigena can listen hip hop like 80s. So
I
this is the
like that term, new indigenous. And what's interesting is, you know, sometimes we again in hip hop we find, you know, how as we discover, you know, through music and
Mhm.
custom, we find it in so many other periods of our of history uh, as well, and in practice and form. Did you find anything that was kind of real parallel to hip hop culture and indigenous culture in Peru?
I don't find exactly situation or image like that, you know, but I create this situation in my mind and later I put it in a wall. But for me,
This is a good
this
example of what you're talking about, by the way.
this is the complete example. I talking about actually I listen for when I paint this wall, I listen Erica Badu all time. I got a but later I say no, she's part of this world, crazy world, you know. Erica Badu is like a connection, all the weird techniques and sync, you know, and she is the connector. So in this moment when I paint that, I feel that, you know, I listen hip hop, I listen Gutan Clan, graffiti on my mind, you know, and this new indigenism for me. I got the real word for that is the new indigenism is the interpretation of the what happened with the new indigenous, you know, the contemporary indigenous.
Right. I like that you included the Cheech Wizard in there.
Mhm. I'm sorry, I don't listen.
I like that you added the Cheech Wizard in there. And so when we think about this new indigenism, as you mentioned, you know, you, you seem to, I guess, as you start progressing, that starts to look different. That starts to look more like contemporary art and contemporary practices and color. And you know, in terms of the work that you're doing, you're shifting gears, especially in something like this. This was interesting for me, this installation. I thought it was a political protest, but you said no, it wasn't a political protest. Uh,
No,
Tell me
I
about this.
this what's it called? This is a history when I got 15 years. I'm part of a group of the what's it called vandals for a soccer team. So these people fighting every time, and this is one of the part try to fighting to the other part, and only for soccer. So I try to put that in this exhibition for show what happened with the mind of the guy from 15 years from the ghetto. You know, this is the problem. So I try to put this kind of stuff, and when I do that, I'm trying to put another thing with me, like the afiche chicha together too, the graffiti, the tags, the installation. I put my graffiti on the wood and cut the wood, and later I do an installation. This is the reason, because people from my school, my art school, give me a scholarship. You know, in 2005, these persons called me and say, "Yo, I look your work in the street. Maybe you can study art." I say, "Why not?" You know, and the people call me and give me the present.
The
So
scholarship, yeah.
For me, it's like
So,
in this moment.
so when you go to art school, things start to change. I imagine your ideas, the way you practice, the shift in your art. Obviously, I always found this really interesting in the culture of graffiti, or even in hip hop. When you do something new, right? When you transition, it becomes difficult sometimes for people to understand that and accept that about an artist. And you've taken some pretty, in the last several years, pretty sharp turns in terms of your work, right? You know, and this almost is kind of at the beginning of that. How was the reception to your work as you start changing from this kind of, you know, indigenism in your work to more a contemporary narrative?
Yeah, I feeling really, what's the word exactly? Boring when I do many stuff like only one way, you know, like in only indigenism. In one point, I'm feeling die, you know. I need change. I need escape. So I do that in my studio and never show stuff like that in my Instagram, or no, or only a little bit. Is not all, you know, because I try to separate these two parts, you know, like Entes from Joan Jimenez, the artist and the graffiti writer, and the what's it called, muralism, whatever, you know, street art, whatever. But
Right. And what's
Joan
interesting,
Jimenez is evolution.
and is that you're searching for this, and what's interesting is that you find empowerment, personal empowerment through the work that probably wasn't there in the same way with the indigenism, where now you're willing to protest, you're really willing to put your political voice into the work.
Yes, the point with this kind of work, when I can do this separation of my mind to do the regular graffiti or urban art and the art completely, I'm focusing contemporary art, because I try to say straight like a weapon, you know, like boom, you need do really good your stuff and try to prove completely different uh, image and language, you know.
Right.
Try
And I
to talk.
love the language you're using, because here you in one of them with all the candy and the neon up front, es un sueño robado.
Yes,
It's a stolen dream.
yes,
And the other one next to it, esto
limpia
es
luna.
una limpia luna. And these are very powerful statements.
Yes,
And how are people responding, you know, to this kind of work in terms of its messaging and also the execution of these works?
the people is really upset because no understand what happened with dentists, you know. but for other way, the people from art look at me completely different. I say, oh, okay, it's not only graffiti. You can do anything. Actually, the paints in the back of the neon is oil.
Really?
So I paint oil too, cause I'm do my study of art. So this is the point, you know. The people, I try to put myself really serious in art and graffiti. So when stay focused with that, and I can do really powerful image, and I can do a discurso. I don't know the word
A
in,
discourse, a
yes,
dialogue.
discourse. You know, try to put another image and not the same thing of the graffiti in the gallery, because this is a problem for me. When you put your own graffiti in a gallery, it's the same of the wall, but in the gallery, you know. For me, it's okay. It's a work, looks beautiful, but need the texture, need the different gift the wall gives you, you know. But when you put this on the canvas, it's not. And this is a reason because I'm do a research. Many people use the technique to stole graffiti like or urban art like
That's
Bansky's
right.
on. These are techniques comes from Italy. The name is Strapo and Stacco too. When you take
That's right.
a brick out or a layer of the wall out, is different names. Actually, these are conservation of art knowledge, you know. And when I'm started to do that, I say, yo, this is crazy. These people steal my work and now sell my work 10,000 G in a booth in art in fucking art fair, and
And you can't do
why
anything
I
about
don't
it.
do it that, you know?
Well, what's
Why I
interesting, and I love that you're letting us know this, because you take action and do it for yourself in your contemporary work, right? You with the chichas, right? These chicha pulls, right? And that you are pulling, uh, uh, off the street, the experience, your community, you're pulling it off the street and bringing it into the gallery. But
yeah,
what's exciting about this is a process of discovery for you in your work, right? Where it starts to take shape in an unexpected way. So tell us about this, about finding that happy place with what people are, let's just say, robbing or co-opting of the culture of the street to make their own, and how you do it, how you're reclaiming it for yourself.
okay. So this kind of work in Peru, the poster chicha or the culture chicha is really cute, you know. It's not powerful. It's like transform this culture in something soft, and I need the powerful thing of the street and take part of these posters on the street and put a, I do a what's it called, collage in the canvas, and decided and drawing some birds and put the birds in the canvas and do fillings with the can, spray can things, tags, dripping, and in the end, and I got this kind of pieces, but it's 2009. This, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
2009.
Yeah,
So
that's
when it's early, you know, try to every time I try to discover another techniques, another language. This art is motivated for when I discover the new Jose Parla work. You know, when
right.
when mm, when Jose Parla started to do these piece frames of the walls in 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 a canvas, break my mind. So I'm trying to start it my own work like that. But I really what's it called is depression is like looks dirty but beautiful in the piece, you know. I try to put all time this kind of things in the gallery because the people in the gallery expect or waiting for a beautiful art like for on the top of my sofa, you know.
Right.
But for me it's like, are you listening?
Yes, yes, we just lost the connection for a little bit, but I
Okay.
did hear you about how people are choosing art to decorate a space. That's nothing new in
Yes.
history. I think that's, you know, goes with the territory, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also, I also believe people can find and or buy art too to find meaning in the world, right? And how they relate to the world through you, because you're a messenger of the world, right? You're a messenger of a certain place, a certain language, a certain community, a certain texture that people, you know, have a curiosity for or an attraction to, right? And we were talking about this idea of distressed art, right? And graffiti is a kind of distressed art, you know, when it's in public space. It has a texture because of the wall. It has decay because of aging, also the quality of paint. Um, and one of the things that we were talking about earlier, how, you know, we as artists explore the environment in our work. You know, there's a moment, I know, I think all of us do. All of us have had that, you know, and I talked to you about the series I did about, you know, about painting and the paintings from the environment, in
Mm-hmm.
that because there's an emotional tie to our space, our community, and even the colors that we are associating with, right? And but more importantly, like with this series, what I find really fascinating is that um, you're taking something that's kind of everyday. The Chichas is every day. Nobody's thinking about this as art, right? And it's a graphic design art that's been with you for I don't know how many years, but it's something now that the urban culture is taking. And I believe what you're saying about making it cute and making it entertainment for art and for street art. Whereas I've seen that from other artists, but you have made it a little bit more, I don't know, expressive and worn, and it almost seems war ravaged, because if you think about Lima and protest, this could have been part of a result of maybe they bombed a building, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what's interesting about this all is that, you know, and we talk about, you know, I'm alluding to protest and art, uh, of course, you know, part of the journey of being a well-known street artist or graffiti artist is you get the opportunity to decide, do you want to be in the game or not, right? Do you want to be in galleries? Do you want to be in museums? And then the question is, what do you hold on to that's true and real in your art and in your politics when you enter these kinds of spaces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it changes us in a way when we bring our work into a gallery. It changes the context of our work, our dialogue with collectors and museum curators and galleries. And in this museum, it's really powerful. The first image you see right in the center is, yeah, that's revolution. You know, that's protest. Tell me about this exhibition.
Yes, this is the Contemporary Art Museum from Bogota. I do this exhibition 2 years before, uh, but when it's 2 floors of the museum only for me, this the most important exhibition for me in my life. So when I got this opportunity, I tried to find an a different language to talking about, you know, and the revolution. Try to talking about the Lima, my city, my country, Latin America. Actually, I talking about the walls, the graffiti, you know, all mixed in one thing, and the solution for that is the wall.
Yeah,
Take the wall off, painting the wall and take the wall off. Because the problem with the canvas, with me, with my work, with the language, is uh, that it's not a wall. You can feel the texture. You can feel the real latex cape in layer in the piece, right? But when you got the piece, like my new pieces, you can touch in the back and feel the concrete. Actually, it's not only how looks the piece, it's all the situation, you can touch. This is a hard thing, it's not breaking easy, so
Yes.
in one point I tried to start it to do a sculpture, but new sculpture, no, try to do my character in a vinyl toy. Not, I say,
Right, and
oh,
we see that in this image, and how you're making these relief sculptures and sculptures that you can move around in, and they're really impressive. I have to tell you, they're really impressive, and it's so important that people know that this isn't just a collage that you assemble. This is really coming off the wall.
yes. For me it's like I try to take off almost the poster chichas I can. And in one point, when I got the regular box in my studio, I try to cut all in little pieces and construct, do a composition with that, and later do a sculpture or a wall or whatever I need. I try to represent my my cows or the cows of my city in pieces. I write many stuff, not only my name. I write political stuff happening in this moment uh, in the pieces. So my art is not talking about only characters or indigenous, talking about all the situation, try to move my ass to another things, not only the comfortable zone. I try to put myself in other stuff, like installation like that. Uh, find wood in the street and later take acrylic with a gun machine. You can do that, twisted, and later paint graffiti. Inside is another thing.
So
It's
who are
different,
you?
different.
Who are, like, I'm looking at this, and who are you in this? Are you Antes Antes, or you Juan Jimenez? Juan Jimenez.
Is both, because Joan Jimenez got the techniques and the ideas for do another kind of stuff, but need Entes to do the throw up, to do the style, to do the composition, And later, Joan Jimenez do the colorful part of this piece, and the degradee, and the more contemporary things, I'm a nerd. I'm a study art all time of my life. When the people in my college go to the break, I'm go straight to the library to investigate more. So every time
What were you investigating? This is interesting point, because as a young artist, for me, I studied graffiti art history first thing. That's why I got into it. I was nerdy that way. But I looked at a lot of the Europeans at first, right? They were my first influence, and then the Americans. And I wasn't necessarily looking at Latin America, probably with Wilfredo Lam, and, he was really important to me. But he was also, again, from that period in early Europe. Who were you
yes,
looking at when you were younger?
my father is a professor of math, and my mother is a professor of educate gym, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to me find a book of art in my house or my grandma's house. It's completely impossible. And these feelings give me to me this curiosity about the art, you know. And when I'm started with internet here in '98, I'm trying to investigate for other artists. I discovered first Jean-Michel Basquiat, later Andy Warhol and Rauschenberg, but I got 15 years or 16 years. And in this point, I say, wow, this is crazy. It's not graffiti, but this is crazy too, you know. And later discover for sure Henry Chalfant, you know, many
Right.
books and stuff like that. It's not easy here. We do copies of this. It's for me, it's like New York in the '80s. We do copies of the photos and the same thing. You know, we use wrong material to paint. It's no MTM here in this time, and but the real situation for this for try to get this knowledge about the art is like I don't feeling happy with my last work, so I try to investigate for do something better, you know.
Yeah.
And this thing is my life, because I try to buy more books and try to investigate for a new artist and what happened with the contemporary art, what part of this art in a specific like me, you know. So I find Caterina
Well,
Gross.
Entes, if you're looking for something specific like you, I would imagine you would be looking to the right and left of you, right? Because you're collaborating with so many artists around the world. And this is such an exciting time for young people to be an artist, because, and people debate this with me because of the problem with the internet and people copying and so on and so forth. But, you know, that only helps us to discover ourselves, and especially when we start collaborating. And you came to Miami, actually, and you collaborated with
Abstract.
Abstract, right? You did a beautiful mural that paid homage to so many people there's a commission for the Museum of Graffiti. Tell me what your experience was like. One, you know, because you were already starting, we started this conversation about a museum, we're going to end it about a museum. And you come here because you've already started this idea as well, and you and Alan know each other pretty well. And all of a sudden, this history that you didn't know is here. And then all of a sudden, you and Abstract respond to it by paying homage to it.
Yes, sir. Yes. Abstract is my dude, bro. We do something like that with Paladino in Cuba. So we need more. And the wall in the museum is this opportunity to do something big and amazing, you know, and powerful too. So he got this kind of work like me to do something like that. And this combination is do a match, you know. And for sure I learned from my brother and sister from the Latin America and around the world. For sure I understand that. But this is for murals and art and life, you know.
I like that you guys painted me in green. That was kind of a surprise. I mean, there's a lot of interesting people here. You have Lady Pink, you have Slick Rick, Lady Reds.
Yes.
Africa Bambaataa.
Many people
Is that right?
We talking about in this world for hip hop. We listen many hip hop and we on the same way of the murals, you know. So we talking about the hip hop, the source of graffiti, actually, you know, you and many stuff like that, you know, like Slick Rick, like the Lady Pink, Africa Bambaataa,
Chief Wizard,
you know.
That's awesome. So, folks, I want to, as we close this out, I want to take the last few minutes to ask you to take the time to ask Entes some questions. been on this amazing journey, the survey of this prolific artist's life. To me, I have a ton of questions, but I want our audience to contribute some. And as we wait for the questions, Entes, how has Corona affected you in Lima? How's it affecting people in Lima right now as well?
So here affected me really hard because I got a business. The business is MTM store here, and it's closed. All is closed. The commission is closed.
Yeah.
The all is closed. Actually, I read news about the decade of art this year is 90%.
Wow.
Here. So it's really crazy. The gallery is closing. All the thing is closing, no? So now we try to find another techniques, you know?
Yeah.
I'm using now and investigating now in Photoshop, Illustrator, and Procreate to do another stuff, you know.
Beautiful.
Try to move myself and out of the comfortable zone
right.
to other things. Is the opportunity to do something new to me.
Yes. Rama Rich asks, how does family bring inspiration?
I think so. The inspiration is come from for all my life, the problems of my life, and for sure, stay in the combi too much time, looking up of the window, the people. I'm observing all time, and this is part of the inspiration.
Bella Machina asks, with all the magic and inspiration you spread across the world, how do you remain so humble and grounded?
I don't know. It's crazy. For me, it's like when you cross all the world looking for opportunity to do something new, is really crazy. But when you go back to your country, try to put this on the street, right? So I learn. It's like for me when I travel, it's like it's an opportunity to learn more. You know,
yeah.
Know more people, do more friends, do more hermanos around the world, and do a big community. And these people know not only me, my friends from Paraguay, Os Montaña, Apitatan, Siler from Chile, you know, and my crew, the MGC from Peru, my G's from Paris, ODV is all with me. So all is in my bag, and this opportunity to do that.
Yeah, paint it. You got a question from Painted Walls, Havana. How do you find the cultural differences every different part of Latin America? For example, your trip to Havana in last February.
It's crazy because here we got many paths on the corner, you know. Actually, we got ruins to 10 blocks of my house, ruins, pre-Incas ruins in the street. But in La Habana, I see that, you know, the Spanish people kill all the culture, you know, and this is whack, you know. But you can feel the situation from the people. You can feel the same. We are connected, you know. We are Latinos. This is the point.
Yeah.
We can talk the same idioma, you know, the same language. You can feel we can dance the same salsa. So this is important for me because this is the connection. This is the connection to do something more bigger, powerful for the world, for Latin America, representing Latin America in the world. This is the point.
Bueno, from a New Yorican in Miami.
Boom.
I want to thank you, man. I so
thank you, bro.
Appreciate your journey. I'm inspired by your journey and your thinking about art and culture and your contributions. And of course, we here at the Museum of Graffiti are really grateful that you became a part of the family and that you have blessed us with the beautiful mural in the back. And that's just the beginning, but more importantly, that we had this opportunity to get to know you better and your work and share that with the world. So I want to thank you, my friend. Gracias, hermano. Como
Thank you,
siempre.
hermano. Muchas gracias,
And
hermano.
I want to thank everyone who's joined us today. And I want to remind you that every day we're doing these artist talks with artists who are making a difference in this culture and in the world and contributing, you know, so much and so much that we don't know about, which is amazing, right? I get to learn about you in ways that aren't necessarily on your feed, right? On your Instagram feed. So that with that, I want to thank you and say good night. And as well, remind everyone that tomorrow we have the one and only Chris Days Ellis joining us, an
The big
OG.
one.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. So tomorrow, 7 p.m., we got Days joining us. And on Friday, I'm excited because my old friend Futura is going to join us. That said,
thank you very much, brother, for all, and thank all the guys connected to feel this vibration.
Igualmente, cuídate.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, be safe out there. Take good care of each other and safety first, okay? Until tomorrow.